Yes.
Yo, 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 yo. Yes, man. Oh,
Yes, man, you're very far
sound
away.
Far away.
You sound kind of quiet, yes, man.
Are you in quarantine? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you're shouting down a pipe. Did you do that thing that they do in prison where you use butt suction to take the water out of your toilet and then you sort of shout down the tube to somebody else's toilet?
It's called a bidet.
Yeah.
but so you are in jail.
Yeah.
Because you committed a crime.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to find out what it is. But before we find out, I just want to know, are you repentant about it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's big. So you regret doing it. It landed you in both quarantine and jail. Did it involve harming another person? Did it involve blunt force trauma?
Yeah.
Did you kill a man?
Anyway, you're not my lawyer.
Dark turn.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. Woof.
There we go.
I can't believe that NSFW You're the Man Now dog is still around.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
Now.
What? Now?
Oh, You're the Man.
I just kept dropping words. It's like I had word lag.
You're the dog man faced boy with hair on your face, dog man.
I have become death. Destroy
I
the
am-
world.
I am
nearly
becoming the dead.
Now you're all dying because of my new invention, the fantabulous Killinatrix. It's me, Dr. Oppenheimer, Wild West's most appreciated bomb maker.
Anybody know what a 504 error is?
Oh, that's Vanessa Hudgens talked on the internet.
Oh, ba-boom.
And
Don't
got her
fuck
ass.
up the IG live stream when everyone's at home with nothing to do. It's the new song that was singing today.
I'm gonna do the reply all yes no thing where it's like there's nothing in that sentence that made any sense to me. I don't know what that is.
So
Vanessa Hudgens.
Is
Do you
a
know who Vanessa
singer.
Hudgens is?
From context,
Yeah.
I gather she is a singer of songs,
an actress and singer, yeah.
actress and singer. So she was in what, a movie?
High School Musical film series.
Okay.
So yeah, now I guess she's 31 now. Jeez. So now I would say she's probably well known with like the generation of kids right before Penny. Like she would be like the Disney icon for that generation. But now she is, still famous and still working, but she was on a Instagram live feed in which she said, hey, paraphrasing, but not really. She was just saying that, like, some people are gonna die and it's awful to say, but like, whatever.
Quote, yeah, till July sounds like a bunch of
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm sorry. It's a virus. I get
Ebenezer
it.
Scrooge.
But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are going to die, which is terrible, but like inevitable.
Oh.
So she apologized for saying
Hashtag. She played her game preemptively. That's a freebie whenever we get around to that game.
Well, it's just like, man, what? I don't know. I saw like people that we know like talking about it, and I was like, I mean, really? Like, are we really that bored that we're gonna like worry about Vanessa Hudgens saying something stupid about coronavirus? Like, we have so many. Like, we have probably more of an effect on more people with platforms. Like us, a bunch of blue ass check marks can probably do more to the people that like are listening to our voices right now than us, like amplifying outrage to Vanessa Hudgens being stupid. Which, like, if you're getting your coronavirus news from Vanessa Hudgens, then I don't know if there's a lot that anybody can do.
You might want to choose another source.
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to please listen. I'm not saying don't listen to Vanessa Hudgens on coronavirus. Just mix her in with a few other voices, and
Yeah,
then come to
Like
your conclusion.
Thanos.
I love oh shit, I don't want to talk about politics again. I was about to talk about politics. Next swing. I don't want Brian's dirty socks to come back out.
No. Actually, now's the perfect time. I just knew we needed a reset, so I was trying to pattern interrupt.
It's all good. It's all good.
I will talk politics very locally. My sister is the county clerk in our home county, and her life is way better now that primary is over. I tell you what. I mean, it's probably really still crappy tonight because they're still counting votes and everything. But, was she looking forward to that being done?
Yeah, kind of crazy. Crazy
Yeah.
that they even did it. Crazy. It's gonna be crazy to see tomorrow because I get a sense that there's gonna be a big push to have this functionally over race be kind of semi-officially over. At that point, these events can kind of go on, the primaries, and people can say, you don't have to come out, but who knows?
We'll just be biding our time.
Yeah, that is a weird
Who'd
thing.
who'd your mom vote for?
You can hear that on politics on Friday, but she reluctantly cast a vote. That's all I'll say.
Oh, tomsnewbook.com is mine, and I have changed the forward. It'll take a while to work, but
Nice.
Thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. I for whatever reason in my mind, I thought I had sent it to you ages ago, but I guess I had purchased it and then had to wait through them saying that I couldn't send it to you.
Yeah, and then after I got it, it kept saying pending for like 5 days, and then I forgot to go back and check on it. So,
Oh shit! Hey
you go.
Brian, look, we can go ahead, Bryce, and just check the Night Attack Twitter.
God damn it, I just saw it. There is some breaking news. There's finally some sports news in the world.
It's at Night Attack
Yeah.
Show. Oh, I see. Here we go. This is ESPN.com. Sources say Brian Rushwood gets a ping pong table. Followed by Sports Center Special starring a bald Brian Rushwood.
Spoiler alert, same Brian Brushwood.
No, stop it.
Revealed.
A trending video that says, according to sources, some shit's going down in clay class.
That's good. Who said that? Hitman. The Hitman 1982. That's good.
It's really great.
Hey, let's look at some show titles before we get too far down the rabbit hole, including our top-rated one, Triple Dipped Bullshit License.
I do like the triple dip bullshit license.
I don't know how you top that, to be honest.
Get Fucked Hamlet. Warning, this episode may contain some Billy Joel.
May contain traces of Billy Joel or was made on machinery used to process Billy Joel.
Bryce does a hand thing. Bryce is bullshit. You should get your bullshit license renewed. Live long and pay me. Tonight to attack.
Live long and pay me is actually fucking really, really good. I really like
Yeah, I'm
that.
down with that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, because that's not too much of a giveaway. That was a fairly obvious one.
Sports
Live long and baby. Hold on, go back. What was the? There was a little bit more. Oh, never mind. Nope, it's gone.
Okay. Let's see here. Working too hard can give you a night attack. We're just gonna get that one off. We're just gonna get those off the screen there. Bullshit artist, the cover artist.
Brian got a ping pong table is pretty good.
REM started the fire.
The end of the fire as we know it.
George Orwell's Ding.com. Thank you for undergoing hypnosis.
Yeah. Wait, I what?
Sorry, whoops.
2 steps above Camboy? All right. All right, let's go to the top of here.
Milk Lake Championship. That's definitely a third of the show. I like Triple Dip Bullshit License. I like that and Live Long and Pay Me. Possibly Live Long and Pay Me more. Although both are very Night Attack titles.
Justin, you wanna cast a vote? A boat vote?
Live long and pay me.
All right, we'll go with Live Long and Pay Me. All right. Hey, thank you to Mbombo Cube and everyone who submits show titles using the Megas command in the chat room. I'm going to write them here.
Ahoy! Congrats, Mbombo Cube. Oh, goddamn. Hey, now that we're all trapped in quarantine, maybe next week we can do like a Night Attack outreach thing and say everyone bring a friend and bring them in the chat. Like because a lot of people are, they're experiencing isolation for the first time, and then maybe we could have them all come in, and then you can awkwardly in the chat explain to your friends this thing that we all love.
Yeah. Come on, man. I'd say maybe it's good. Maybe it's a good time for another big social thing, like another. Hey, we're all trying to blow up the Death Star. Maybe there's something that we could think about to kind of bring people in. Even like that would just take someone to kind of like press a button, someone be part of a big fun thing.
God, I can't even. So much changes over 10 years, Justin. Do you remember that time that you pitched and then we did a reality competition searching for America's next top retarded cat? Like,
man, the 90s.
Oh,
yeah, God, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? What are we? Where are we at here in the chat? I mean, the compliment bomb. Trust me,
man, that's harder than ever.
Speedman, dude, that existed in a beautiful window of time where people had unspammable or totally spammable chat or comment messages.
Yeah.
That just simply doesn't happen anymore for a million very good reasons, including the fact that people could do sequel injections via comments and stuff like that. Now it is just such a pain in the ass to do it, and everybody's got to sign up. So it's like, or you're doing it on Facebook, and at that point, now people are less likely to do it. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to go take a look at what that landscape is these days. If anybody wants to scout, if anybody like knows that there's the
problem is if there is somebody who has a totally unguarded, unbarred window, then they certainly don't care if we put a vase of flowers in there or not. Like that's an abandoned house is what it boils down to.
The other thing that makes kind of comment bomb unrepeatable is that we had an inside mole. So like we actually got the unvarnished reaction inside, which was the funny part.
But that also was after the fact. We didn't know at the time. We didn't set anything up.
Oh no, I went to the paper that I knew somebody at. Like but they
did not know it was coming.
Yeah, there was nothing that we couldn't have done that wouldn't have like everything that we did was indeed spontaneous. The difference is that I was directing us toward a paper for which I had a friend that was working at,
right,
and we would know for a fact.
Can you sing a song about the town that this paper was located in?
Yeah, well, it was located adjacent to Allentown. Technically, it was called the Lehigh Valley, serving Nazareth and other biblically named towns that surround the central Pennsylvania cluster.
Play Doobie Brothers.
uh, but yeah, that was. I mean, the fact that like what made that moment magical was that we had word inside that was like, yeah, they called a meeting and all hands were on deck, and they were one of the things that were mentioned was that they had to expand concert coverage
Because apparently
for-
this article was blowing up.
Yeah, because there's like shit. There's a huge fucking audience for concert coverage. Like, can we do a top 10 Doobie Brothers article? And that and the guy was also really nice, which was kind of the give back on that. But I don't know, man. I mean, like obviously the big projects, the like Diamond Clubs or the Journeys or the albums or anything like that takes a little bit of lead time. But I feel like there's got to be some kind of little mini boss we can.
The big thing that makes for our best successes are figuring out like overlapping unmet needs in the universe. Like I think part of the reason that the Diamond Club nailed it so hard, so to speak, partly was because it was at the Diamond Club. But because there already was the existing quote unquote legitimate niche of people wanting poorly written erotic fiction. But on top of that, we overlapped another niche of people who wanted to mess with those people. And so when both sides of the football game are kicking towards, the middle of a gravity well, that tends to do really well.
Well, that was, yeah. I mean, that was like practice meeting the moment. Like that Diamond Club thing. I think that we even realized at the time that was just like something that exploded far more than we would have ever thought.
Yeah.
And kind of captured attention far more because you're right. There was just so many different versions of the person that wanted that wanted this to be a thing, up to and including some of the most influential, like Reddit voters and blog writers. Like as soon as we got their attention, then it was like, oh, okay, this is just gonna be a larger thing.
Yeah, Ethereal Vision wants to know why it's no longer available. We own it, make it available, because the publisher that we used it went out of business. So for us to put it back up would require us to find a formatted copy of it, which I don't know where any of those were. I was trying to find it to read passages to someone, and I literally all I could find was a document in one of the NSFW show accounts labeled all caps total scam. and it was only by searching for the character names that I was able to find it. So the hard copies are going for like $100+ out there.
At some point, someone
Yeah.
sent me a full, just a plain text copy because I think we used it for a generative keyboard at one point.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
maybe
If anyone has it, if somebody has that Google Doc, please share it with us so that we don't lose it. Because I don't know where it is.
No, totally do it, and we'll put it back up.
Yeah.
If somebody gets me a copy, then I mean I ain't got shit to do. I'm making fucking podcasts about goddamn Billy Crystal.
we have a friend who has the software to make ebooks, to format ebooks, so maybe we can steal a little bit of his precious time.
Yeah. No, I wound up buying the same thing. So
Oh, okay. Then Justin will do it instead.
hit me up.
All right.
Hit me up. Yeah, no, we'll do that. We'll make it available again.
I mean, you can just use Word to make an ebook. It's not the
But you got to get the formatting right. Tom, then the formatting.
Yeah.
You gotta get the formatting.
Yeah,
Tom-
you
Tom-
download
Tom's
the
very-
template. Yeah.
Come on, Tom.
Frontier Tom. You don't
You
need
know,
an-
in my day, you
I've
used
got these-
assembly code to build your ebooks.
you know,
I've got these woodcut
aspirin's free.
blocks.
Just strip the bark off the tree and boil it accordingly, and next thing you know, you're gonna
Yeah.
be right as
And then
rain.
when you were sitting on your Dan Wally 3, you had something to read.
Tom, what do you think about baseball? Wait, Hey Tom, what do you think about movies? Wait,
Oh, did you see?
hey,
Did you see on Reddit? Somebody posted. I think the headline was, "My local newspaper has a sense of humor." The sports section, it just says sports, and it was just nothing. They literally printed a totally blank
was
page
nothing on it.
with no comment.
I mean, to be funny, that's actually probably the amount of sports writers that they're currently employing.
Yeah,
Like,
no kidding.
that is both a representation of their payroll and a joke to the audience.
On the Sunday, I put on the 1978 Tom Seaver no-hitter, Cardinals Reds.
You want to know what? And once we get back to a place where we can all be in a physical place together, I have had this idea that I would love if it were about like sports and teams that I liked, but literally just do at any random sports bar like a theme night where everyone's encouraged to come in a period appropriate like
Gear.
dress and gear and everything, and you literally just watch, like out here in Oakland, like watch like the World Series clinching game, and all the TVs in modern sports bar all have the old game on with like, and then you edit together some old ass commercials and stuff like that, but you basically just do like soft immersive theater, but it's just you hanging out with your friends at a bar,
Right,
and
right.
like an hour, 2 hours.
You get a really mild cosplay. You get, pretty much any bar is going to be pretty period appropriate because bar. And then if you got the right thing up there on the TV, done. Yeah, that's easy. That's fun.
So, yeah, it's just old commercials and the old game, and at the end it'd just be rad, unstuck in time to have a whole crowd just like freak out like when they win the championship and you play and like it would be just like a fucking a super rad moment, because it's like, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask. You did get to experience the Adventurers Club before it closed, right? Which
No.
Oh, you never did. Oh man, it's a much more extreme version of what you're talking about. But it was the best thing that Disney ever did, where you walked in and you were time traveling back to 1927 or whatever, in the Adventurers Club when international travel was rare enough that people would come and they would regale you with tales of what it was like to actually encounter the lion's roar or whatever, and they would cajole everyone into singing slightly bawdy songs or whatever. It was on Pleasure Island. It was one of the few adult themed parts of it, and where no kids were allowed, and goddamn, and they had a few illusions built in. They had stuff like at the bar stools would go up and down without notifying you, and they would have these little story corners where they would do. It was awesome. It was the most magical thing I ever experienced there, but ultimately that whole endeavor was sort of cursed and went away.
Yeah, no, I do remember that era. I was a little young, and then at the point that I was old enough to do shit like that, that was kind of getting torn down.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was still operating at the point that I would be of like interest to something like that. But yeah, that whole idea, I kind of feel like though, like that's something that could come back. Like I would love. I mean, hell. If you just look at like how many people go to Disney for food and wine, and California Adventure just had their food and wine get cut short by this fucking coronavirus shit.
Well, and remember also like food and wine, they just have food and wine. Imagine food and wine, but it's also time traveling, and the entire theme is where you sing songs about how you should drink more wine and eat more food, and it's like the whole thing, like there's drinking salutes and rituals you learn. It was fucking amazing.
Well, that's my thing, is like there can be and maybe part of their Epcot rebrand that they're doing now will put in things like this, but that there can be some off time food and wine, like destination. Like I would love to stay in a food and wine hotel. Like whatever that energy that is around food and wine, like where it's adult and it's not, I mean, like, yes, kids are there, kids are allowed, but this is primarily there for fucking people to either with kids to cut loose or without kids to have fun. I would love that, whatever that was, and that's really what Pleasure Island was. But the problem is that when they made Pleasure Island, it was in this very misguided period in Orlando history where they thought they were going to be Miami, and so they invested really heavily in nightlife, and Disney invested very heavily in nightlife. Church Street Station downtown in Orlando invested very heavily in nightlife, and ultimately the only things that really lasted were like bars, because bars Floridians like to go to, locals like to go to, and tourists come in and they're like, yeah, let's just go to a Florida bar. They don't want like the ultra lounge, like crazy experience. And that, like, Disney was doing their Disney version of that, and none of it really wound up working.
Yeah, it's like when you're grinding on a chick who's been overserved, you don't want to look up and see Goofy's mug staring at you.
Yuck. Yeah, dude. That's the weird thing. Is like you can still go to places and drink. Well, I guess not now because all of Disney closed down.
Yeah, Florida just closed everything for 30 days, right?
Oh shit! You know what will happen between now and the next Night Attack? Half-Life Alyx is coming out. Are you ready to bust out your VR rigs again?
Half-Life Alyx?
Oh, do you know about this?
No.
Yeah. So
they made a VR Half-Life game.
Yeah. So here we could show this trailer, right? It's worth taking a look at. You're solving puzzles and also defending against invasions.
Yeah, it's a shooting game.
Alex, I'm here.
With Murray from
What's
Flight
the
of the
plan?
Conchords.
If we can get this weapon,
And
what we're doing here could change things forever.
Alex,
No
good.
straight shot to the vault. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
here
head
you can see
inside,
the
find
gameplay
way out.
mechanic here. You're doing like a hacking game, but you're under fire while you're doing it.
You're gonna need a gun. Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now. Combine chatter's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here now. Oh God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alex Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
It's fine to give like a decade-old video game spoiler here, right?
No. What? Yeah, go, whatever.
Yeah.
Half-Life, go, yeah.
Half-Life had one of the early first surprise major character deaths that got people choked up, before video games got really good at doing that. And that guy
After Final Fantasy VII?
I don't. What was the big thing at the end of Final Fantasy VII?
Well, I mean, Aerith dies in the middle of Final Fantasy VII.
I
your-
never made it that far, or it didn't affect me very much. But it did affect me.
Sorry, hold on. Let me translate for Brian. Sorry, weeb. Go ahead, Brian.
I almost certainly played the game and then gave up on it before Bryce did. But
Hold up. Sorry. Let me. Who's sorry now? All right, go ahead.
Only the most popular video game of all time. Whatever.
no, I mean I did. I played most of it.
For weebs.
No, but in Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which is a dumb thing that they named it that way, but Alex Vance's father, Eli Vance, dies, voiced by Robert Guillaume, and that phrase he says, close your eyes, honey, or close your eyes, baby, or whatever. Like you're watching him get killed in front of his daughter, and he tells his daughter to close her eyes, and it was a pretty dope moment in video games.
Yeah, so really this is a prequel to Half-Life.
Yeah, so this takes place right before Half-Life 2.
Yeah, using, quote, gravity gloves.
Yeah.
And I think this will be on all the headsets, not just the new Valve Index. So, also,
apparently also there's some JRPG style or actual JRPG that's coming out for Vive, and I was curious to play it because that's actually the game that I've kind of really wanted, something that was a little bit less specifically graphic intensive, but just gave me that game mechanic in a more immersive world. Like I don't need everything to be action adventure Call of Duty in its mechanics. Like I can do turn-based stuff, but like in the moments where I want to, walk around, I'm walking around and fucking with shit.
Yeah.
yeah. It seems weird. Like after the Quest came out and it was like a big hot ticket item, it feels like there hasn't. I can't think of any other big VR news other than like the potential, the looking to sell of Magic Leap.
Yeah, I mean, good fucking luck.
So Magic
I figure
Leap was not so magical,
They made a $2,000 enterprise headset.
and nobody loved it.
not a lot of people bought.
It's for enterprise.
Tom, why don't you, host of Daily Tech News Show, one of the most respected minds in tech, why don't you go ahead and explain the Magic Leap journey thus far?
From my perspective, the Magic Leap journey was get really rich people in an impressive dark room and show them something while you tell them how amazing it is so that they rave to their friends, while actually having technology that is not dissimilar from things already under development or in the marketplace. Ride that hype train as far as you freaking can, hoping that you'll be able to put something out that at least looks great. Not quite make that, put out a developer's kit that is expensive and very few developers are interested in because there are better developers kits from other companies out there. And now, not related to the virus, decide, well, maybe we could just sell off what we have to somebody and cash out finally. That was the end game all along.
It was weird because you started off talking about Quibi, and then you started talking about the future of Quibi, and then I was really confused.
Well,
And then Quibi became a developer's kit, and I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean that?
Yeah, that's when you lost me. I don't get it.
Kind of the best time for Quibi to launch, do you think?
No, because
When
Quibi's-
everyone's at home and has nothing to do but watch television?
when everybody has long stretches of time available to them, you want to market your short, quick bits for,
when
between
you're waiting in line at the grocery
on your
store.
Bryce, they want the huge lunch. They don't want the quick bites.
And also 8 to 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't look at a YouTube video
All right,
and
that-
see
that
8 to
entire-
10 minutes.
we will have plenty of time to dunk on Quibi, and trust me, we are on content quarantine. Like, we are saving everything for every episode. We are always going to need what we have right now. We are rationing.
What's funny is
let me actually go back to Magic Leap real quick.
Sure.
Tom, how much would you pay to get the exact demo that all those VCs got Magic?
Oh, like how
All
badly
that.
would I like to hear that pitch? Yeah.
No, just give me all right. So I'm telling you, it is a $100 ticket. I will sell you a $100 ticket so I can show you the exact demo that got Magic Leap all that money, and either it's going to be amazing and you're going to be like, holy shit, I get it, or you're going to be like, what fucking idiots.
all right. Can I give a multiplier?
Yes or no?
$100 is the ticket where you get to see the demo. $500 lets you see the room and see everybody watching the demo. which would
I'm
you?
not going to pay any money for something that I know is just going to make me really angry.
Wait, so
So
my
you don't want to
mind-
subscribe to Rush 24/7.
so I think that at least while I was watching all this Magic Leap stuff go down, and I was rooting for Magic Leap because they're based out of Davie. But they, I assume that demo had to be the tits. I assume
It had to be. It had to be.
It had to be fucking awesome for that time.
Because it was like atheists walking into a church saying like, I just don't believe, and then walking out like evangelizing and like, handing Bibles to everyone as they walked out. It was crazy.
Because apparently the big thing that everybody mentioned was there was a demo where you like saw your hands, or like you picked up a teacup, like the virtual teacup, and you set it on your hand, and then a little elephant came out of it. Like there was something about that one moment that for Sandhill Road was entrancing, and they just emptied the goddamn coffers to let this dude open, like not even in Palo Alto. They let him go to Davie and do it at the ass end of the fucking world, comparative to Silicon Valley.
They eventually opened up in Silicon Valley. Yeah. I don't know, because it must have been people who hadn't seen a lot of augmented reality like at the time, and it was years ago, so there were fewer people who had actually seen augmented reality. More people had seen VR. It must have been something really smooth about the demo. I don't know, but yeah, I never got it, because every time I heard the description, I'm like, well, that's like HoloLens. Well, that's like Oculus. Well, that's not that impressive. And it's just I never got it.
100's too rich. 100's too rich.
I'm not paying.
We're slashing. We're slashing right now. Tom, I can get you in the room and get you this exact demo given by the Magic Leap guy. As I hear through the back channels, he's going to have a lot of free time on his hands. $25
right now. Look, you've got our backs up against the wall. I swear to God. Look, we're not good cop and bad copping you, but Justin told me he's ready to punch you in the fucking nuts, and I held him back.
I will take the punch in the nuts.
Brian.
Look, I know you're fired up. I know you're fired up. Just give me a few minutes.
I'm the worst suspect. I'm the worst suspect, because I would please punch me in the nuts. I don't want to have anything to do with that.
This is a write-off for DTNS. It is
all right. 25. That's fine. I'm in.
Okay, listen. Bad news.
Now you're talking my language.
Bad news. 25 is already off the table. I call him a manager. He doesn't have it, but he can let it go for 30.
27.
I'm sorry, man. Look, if it were up to me, I'd give it to you for free. I mean,
go talk to your manager.
God, look. You want my shirt too? Is that what this is? You can't meet me at 30.
That's a nice shirt. Yeah,
$2.50. Come on, man.
What does it say? Local?
Yes. It's an ironic shirt.
Yeah.
I'd pay 100. Like
I would just to know.
You finally reframed it. You finally reframed it for me. If I am using DTNS money, and this is like, hey, this is in the pursuit of the story, the way that I pay for devices that we use to talk about on the show, yeah, I'll pay 100. Now I'm back. Now I'm back on board. I will pay it.
Listen, bad news. My manager just called. My manager.
I want to be able to record it though.
My manager just
never
called.
Let anybody record it.
He says there's only one left in stock, and it's $200. I'm sorry. Can you give me 200?
Yeah.
200,000, 100 lira, no. Which is about.
I can't get lira.
$390,
which isn't a currency anymore.
$31,000.
Is there lira anywhere? There's still francs. You can still use francs in French Polynesia.
Turkish lira.
Oh, Turkish lira. Okay.
No. Italian lira, I think, out of circulation.
A Billy Joel lira.
Yeah.
That's lira.
Scenes from me paying in lira. Doesn't it have a song called Lyra? Oh no, it's Lara. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm irrationally into this.
Francs still a thing?
This March
Madness.
I think
Polish zlotys are still a thing.
Sure. Yeah. Are they? They're not euro?
What about bars of Latinum?
Poland wasn't in the early aughts. I don't know
Gold
if they
or not.
Yeah. Yeah, zloty's a thing.
All right.
No,
Thermos
that-
Jack.
One of my favorite nights of drinking ever was going through Krakow, and because America had a very the zloty to dollar translation impressive enough, and beer is cheap enough in Poland that they were in love with Americans because it was around the Iraq War, and so it was like Donald Rumsfeld was talking about like old Europe and new Europe, and Poland was part of like new Europe. So Americans walked in, they loved Americans, and I was just able to like just be the boss at the bar and be like, "Hey, round for the bar." Slap down a crisp Abe Lincoln. And I was like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "This is the greatest country.
We love America.
Hey Justin, are you watching the Picard?
Fuck no, man.
Okay.
If people like if we would have gotten more than 3 weeks into people raving about it, because we had 1 week, oh my god, people couldn't stop talking about that Picard. Boy, did they love that Picard. Second week, nobody really talked about it. Third week, I was with Andrew Heaton in New Hampshire, and he sneaks off because he's taking a phone call with a friend, and I just loudly hear him bitching about how terrible the fucking Picard episode was. And I'm like, if Heaton's bitching, then I'm not paying for fucking CBS All
Here's my
Access.
theory:
I'm sorry.
is it's gonna get real good once Picard dies and they name the ship after him, and it's the USS Picard. Then it's gonna be a really good show.
Wait. So you think that it's a
I'm gonna
Sir
say
Patrick problem?
I'm gonna say of the 5 main characters, I really like 2 of them, and Picard is not among them.
Isn't that a writing problem? Because he's certainly been written really, 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 really well fairly recently.
Yeah, it's
In
definitely
what,
a writing
Nemesis?
problem. Well, no. I mean, the actor. I mean, like he was amazing in Logan, and you know.
Oh, you mean Patrick Stewart? Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. It's like, look, if you
Yeah, there you go.
used
So
correctly, and that like we've seen him used well enough and enough. He could do comedy, he could do drama.
Oh my
like,
God.
this is an iconic role.
Bad
So like,
weave.
if you can use him correctly, that's a you problem, writer. That's not a him problem.
Bad Weave has it. The character Picard dies, but they download his consciousness into the computer, so he's just the voice of the ship, which they named the USS Picard. And,
and it
we
runs
follow
on the
their adventures.
Lacute OS.
Yeah, sure. I'm in for all of that, dude. If he's just the voice of the computer.
I just don't see, why do you need to eliminate him when he's like an actual good actor and the writing's terrible and they're writing his character bad?
Because if you write in that the writers die, it doesn't make a very good story for Brian.
They are telling one interesting story and another interesting story that are very different from each other. And one of these interesting stories is more interesting. And
yeah, well, that means that it's a badly written show, and they should fucking have good writing. They should consider maybe we do good writing.
yes, which would include, as I
Yeah,
proposed,
because they're all sitting in there going, you know what? Maybe this bad writing isn't working out. I don't know. Let's change our tactic and try good writing for once.
I've already.
Some agrees.
Dr. Brian has already written his prescription to go from bad writing to good writing. I don't know what more you want. I mean, I don't also have a time machine in my pocket.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is the weird thing to be like totally honest. I think that whenever we get into these flawed shows and we start guessing about like, okay, knowing the tools that we have, and we're always going to have hamstrung bullshit writing, what I would like is for this character to marry this character and this character to die, and then they move into this other house that was in the one good episode that the one good writer wrote. It's like, I don't know. Is it savable, or is it just...
You're talking to the wrong guy over here.
Tom already loves everything as is, and the parts that are lukewarm to me are hot fire to Tom. But
no, that's why. Like, to be totally honest, Tom and I disagree on a lot of stuff. I'm probably a more critical or outwardly negative reviewer of things than Tom is, and we have disagreed on things in the past, although always agreeably. The most creatively we ever synergized was when we fan fictioned on popular culture, and it's something that I will never do again, thanks to the badgering of Kuhan. So if he's watching,
also,
FSL tonight, never happening again.
I will say that I suspect, much like Westworld, that Picard is a much more tasty binge than a week over week watch. Week over week, there's that's one thing that Star Trek was really good about is having self-contained units with a beginning, middle, and end, an interesting episode. But this is also chapter blended together. Yeah.
I have a meta issue, and it's probably too late to bring it up because I got to go to sleep soon myself. But I watch things looking for what to enjoy, and it feels like most everyone else watches things waiting to be pleased. And if you don't, you criticize it. And so I end up liking stuff that a lot of other people say they don't like. And I wonder sometimes if that's just a failing in me, that I just need to be harder on stuff or what. But I often enjoy things, and I get why people don't like them, but I also don't agree.
Let me take your correct premise and complicate only one detail of it. It is not that people are waiting to be enjoyed, but rather the opposite. They are expecting to be entertained, and they are expecting certain things to happen either by their own.
Yeah, there's a level of expectation that they want to be met.
Yeah.
Right.
And
right.
That is either not hit, or now we're in a very competitive world. Like back in the day, it was, you were only judging sci-fi against the other big sci-fi thing that happened maybe a year ago.
You were just thankful that there was sci-fi. You're like, oh my God, there's 3 of them now. There are 3 sci-fis.
With so much sci-fis.
And now there's like so much shit that, especially when Picard, which, like, if there's ever a show for which Star Wars too, that like you feel like, no, look, if Marvel can do it, then why can't, like, you can empty the drawer.
Yeah, it makes it worse if you're coming in with expectations, because there is so much good stuff. You keep raising.
Yes. And that, like, creatively, that's a hard environment to succeed in.
Yeah.
Because and this is where I think kind of Hollywood winds up getting it wrong, or a lot of these shows wind up going wrong in the writer's room, is because there's a lot of people that are working there that don't really know the things that sci-fi fans want. They know what television writers want, and they know that there's like a copycat industry of. Yeah.
I mean, it's not even just what television writers want; it's what executive producers want.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. That, like that ecosystem, wherever the ecosystem of compromise, where the network plus the executive producers plus the stars that are executive producers plus everything else, they all throw in their notes. And now these television writers need to figure out, okay, that plus, I mean, people really loved these other things over the last 3 months, and we want to kind of do this sort of show. And so we wind up getting, sort of things that either will hit the notes, which I think when you're watching, you're like, hey, I'm looking to see whether or not they're going to hit these notes. Look, they did. Great that they did that. Sure, there are things that could have been better, but you want to know what? I went in and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not even looking to see if notes are hit. I just sit down and wait for, I don't know. I don't have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas curmudgeons like me, like I look at it and say, like, look at what a beautiful, you were given such a beautiful easel. You were given such tremendous brushes, the finest paint the world could allow. And this, you painted a dog and a dick hanging out? Like, what? Gross.
I miss being able to talk about shows within the show. It seems like every conversation has to be outside the show. Why did the writers do this? Why did we get the storyline that way? And not a, I used to talk about shows like, oh, what do we think this character is going to do, like in universe?
Yeah.
It's really hard because we all know so much more about how everything is made, not to pull that camera out and see the sides of the set in all conversations.
Yeah, that is something that is lost. The like let's I mean, talking about immersive reality, right? We just had this whole conversation about like whether or not you'd want to go back and relive a sporting event or adventurers club. Like I go back to a point in which there was this magical world that you were not allowed in or not alive for. But yet we can't do that for our favorite television shows. But like part of it is, I think we got addicted to the heroine of them being good. Like we got to, like, as soon as I know for like comic book movies, it was like Blade and then X-Men and then more specifically,
it's like chasing a high, right? Like everyone that was better than the last makes you want every other one to be better than the last, and they can't be.
You can't unknow how good sci-fi is capable of being, and as a result, you it's like only 42 points this game, huh?
Because like Blade was important because it was a competent movie, but more importantly, it was Wesley Snipes at prime Snipes taking on a role that fit him fucking perfectly, right? Like a comic book role that plugged into all the comic book tropes, and hardcore neckbeards could fucking like name all the minor characters that he was interacting with. Like, that was fucking awesome. And then X-Men and X2 were like, oh, wait, like, and this is from my perspective, I'm a fucking, a chubby little film dork who fucking wants to talk about like how cool have you seen The Usual Suspects? Because I own the DVD. Like, and then next thing you know, they do X-Men. Bryan Singer does X-Men, and it's like fucking good. People care. It starts with a Holocaust scene. That's not like four people in their underwear looking at each other and saying, "You're going down, mister." like it's some real shit. And then when stuff is not that, you're like, for real? That's where we're going? Okay. Because you could have started with a Holocaust scene or had Wesley Snipes.
I guess I'll just go watch Usual Suspects again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there is just like a real corruption of like knowledge.
Let's not bring politics in.
Exactly. I'll take off my socks.
Brian took off his socks. I missed that.
I perceived that Justin was getting spun up in a funk and wanted to break a pattern. So I had wet feet, so I kept talking about my smelly socks and then made a bit out of it. We ended up having a really funny show though, so it was really good.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know whether that was a real thing. The honest truth is I didn't know that was a metaphor, because then Bryce said, "I really smell your feet."
Well, I also actually did have wet socks, and I really did take them off, and they really did start to stink. But I was like making because I would see you start to get dialed in on something that obviously meant something to you. I was just. So I would loudly interject my wet sock energy.
And initially, that's what I thought, and then Bryce is like, "Yo, your fucking feet stink," and then you're like, "I guess I'll go get Lysol," and then you really went to go get Lysol. I'm like, is this a metaphor? Or is this really
no. Yeah, you read the room right. It's just that I was method acting, and that's why the Glade had to come out.
That was the only, I just had no idea. I'm like, is this a thing, or like are both of them in on it? Like, I have no idea.
No, that was the one moment that I was afraid, like, oh, is Justin not getting that I'm just trying to break everything? But yeah, we got there.
But you actually had smelly as feet.
Wet sock energy.
All right, Tom, you got to get out of here, right?
Yep, gotta go. Thank you both for having me back. I
Oh my God.
appreciate it.
It was great to see you, sir.
No problem, dude. Thank you so much for hanging out as always, and I will see you on Thursday.
All right. Talk to you then.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hey, you know what we never played? And now that we're all in quarantine, maybe we can make it happen. We never played Star Trek Bridge Crew.
It's crew.
You want to? I'm down for that, man. We can go explore some galaxies and shit. I watched that Black Mirror USS Callister twice. I watched it myself, and then I made my kid watch it, and she loved it. Josie, Penny couldn't handle it.
With Clemens?
Yeah. Penny was out the moment she smelled cruelty. The moment she's like, hey, it's a simulation, he's a bad guy, and she just got up and left.
So Josie's the one that can take the violence
and
right?
the darkness. Yeah. In fact, I think I'm gonna show her the Miley Cyrus episode of Black Mirror next, because that one gets a little bit madcap.
Where and when? So what is the title? Movie, television episode, whatever. And what age or how? Let's not even do age. Let's just go time from now, months, years. That you show her the thing where it's like, all right, just so you know, this is some like.
When do I allow her to see the first Black Mirror episode? Is that what you're asking?
No, whatever that is for you. I'm asking what is like the thing that you would not consider now?
I would absolutely not consider the first
when she's blank.
So, yeah,
And also, is there a difference between I will show her and she is allowed to watch?
Oh, no, she's allowed to watch whatever she wants. I mean, the kids are their own gatekeepers. And in fact, like, it's easier to color within the lines now. You have to go out of your way to manifest your own damaged psyche and go seek out, looking at dead bodies or whatever. Whereas, like, Justin and I grew up at a time when an accidental flick of the wrist would take you from Superman to A Clockwork Orange, the fucked up shit that I in second grade witnessed a fictionalized rape, which can't have been great for this psyche. However, it did manufacture a hell of a comedian. So I'm less worried about that.
This would not be you socializing her because she has the internet and the internet will socialize her to whatever she accidentally goes to, right? This is you providing taste. This is you saying, hey, look,
this is me.
This is something fucked up, and I wanted to wait until I thought, based on other stuff that you would liked and enjoyed, that you would like and enjoy it. But like a brushwood daughter who, with this kind of sensibility, needs to see this as she goes out into the world because this is important art.
Yeah,
what is
that? Like something that would be hard to do. Joker was right on the line. She's 12 or 13 now. She's 13, I think. No, 12. She's 12.
That's a good couple years of angst away. Like you're gonna have to Joker's gonna be a movie where.
Oh no, I already took her. I watched it with her live in the theater. We already watched it together. Yeah, and she hid her eyes at just the right moment for a very pivotal graphic scene. I did make the kids watch Die Hard, and like there's a fairly Paul Verhoeven-esque brain exploding gunshot to the forehead moment early on to show that the bad guys mean business. And Penny got up and tried to leave the room, and it's like I'm just leaning back. I'm like, Penny, that's the only graphic scene. It was used to establish dominance and make sure these are credible bad guys. You understand how storytelling works. Now get back here and you watch the rest of this Christmas movie. And then she begrudgingly did. And then she said that I burned all my credit by making her watch Die Hard, which is fucking bullshit because Die Hard is fucking perfect movie.
Look, man, I ain't the central bank. You fucking figure out your own fucking. You figure out your own shit.
Also, is nobody going to talk about the fact that the whole point of negotiable bearer bonds, $100,000 per sheet, is that anybody who has them can spend them, and they literally snow down at the end of the movie, and not one person is running around picking up. Fucking 9/11 happened, and people were collecting payrolls because they were souvenirs. You're telling me that these pieces of paper, each of which are worth 100,000 motherfucking dollars, there's not a fucking riot to pick those up?
Different time, man. Different time.
That's the only flaw in that movie.
Well, that and the fact that like the dudes in the helicopter make the worst fucking piloting decision since Darth Vader in fucking episode 7, that they're putting like the actual people that are like on the case in this fucking helicopter to do some fucking really aggressive maneuvers.
And shout yeehaw, just like in Saigon, my favorite Billy Joel song.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so I mean, it sounds like the new shit. Fucking, you were cool. There's no secret sauce that you're hiding. There's no thing that scared you as a kid that you're that you're not showing.
Josie's already watched The Shining and was like, yeah, it was kind of creepy. But then again, I saw The Shining when I was 5. Thank you, Mom. The scariest movie is The Exorcist. I think I would hesitate. Josie could actually probably handle that. She would find some of the effects hilarious. I watched Josie. I don't know that there's much I can, like, we already watched Logan and dug it. We watched all of What We Do in the Shadows. She's watched Bats Fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I would
so
not.
There's no,
certainly not Clockwork Orange. Certainly not.
I guess that would be all right. So then let's go with Clockwork Orange, because obviously that was a pivotal moment for you.
Is there? I will never want to watch that with her.
Never.
18, maybe when she's
35.
24, I'd be all like, "Get out of town, girl. You haven't seen this one? Come on. Yeah, what do you had an old toll truck on the Gulliver? Get on over here. It's a real horror show. Come on."
She'll fucking flick a coin to you, and you'll bite it to see if it's real, and then sit down, and there we go.
A little toll truck on the Gulliver. Watch the Red Crovey. That weird ass. Yeah, that Shubru knows the scene I'm talking about. That Singing in the Rain scene.
Yeah. Oh no, that's try the wine. That's a fucked up movie, dude. But yeah, so that would be the only thing that you could think of that you would hold back.
Yeah, and then there's movies that I have. Oh, you know what? I think I can get her to watch The Fly. Man, some of that Cronenberg shit.
That creature design shit is fucking wild.
Yeah, maybe she might be old enough to dig Starship Troopers. There's them. I wouldn't watch like Basic Instinct with her, just because like there's nothing for us.
Yeah, I mean,
like we could sit through the sexy parts if there's something else to hold on. Yeah. Road. Oh,
so you're saying like really, it sounds like the biggest like violence, wherever it's gonna go.
Yeah,
that's fine. Darkness, cruelty, like that's there. The undiscovered country is in either sexualization or like violence.
So something that is meant to elicit actual sexual arousal. Like, I don't see any need for me to be in the room with that for her. Like, no. she doesn't need my hand to hold during those moments. However, graphic heads coming off, like, yes, sure, squeeze my hand. Dad's here for you.
Yeah.
I don't think the kids have seen Jurassic Park. I don't think Penny will watch it. She's 16, and I think she will be too annoyed by the tension. That's crazy. but I think Josie would love it. It's weird to watch those movies because the kids just shout out at random moments. That's where that comes from. I've seen that. That's a meme.
Yeah. Would Josie watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah, totally. And I think she would dig it. I think she would watch the whole thing without me. Yeah.
I mean, 'cause that's a lot of like there are some fairly heavy adult themes that I would assume to a 13-year-old, right? 13 or 14.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's all superhero crime
No,
drama shit, basically.
No. I don't mean adult themes as in like sex or violence or anything like that. I mean like
Intrigue, tension, and all that stuff.
no, I mean for Breaking Bad, it's like the central premise is that this supervillain is created because of an unhappy marriage and like the fact that they have a special needs child, right? That there is an inherent origin story to his like male impotence in this relationship, which it's like, that's some grown-up shit, not in that it is.
Yeah,
like,
but I think there are layers. Like you and I will watch like one of the best scenes of the pilot. I think for one of the European releases or whatever, they edited it out. But one of the best scenes is her giving a distracted hand job while securing that eBay auction, like just to show how dead this marriage is and how joyless everything is. Like that will probably go over her head, but she'll get that this is a pathetic. To her, it'll be a simpler story. This is a pathetic chemistry teacher who is treated bad and finally has the chance, who is in a bad place and has the chance to do good for his family. And then, whether she gets that, no, he's.
No. I mean, like, I guess my thought is not whether or not she will get it or not, but rather like those are complex carbohydrates, right? Like however she processes them, she'll process them.
Yeah.
But I think it would be interesting if what she would think of, like what was the story, right? Because at a certain point, when you've lived a certain life and you have watched life unfold around you, then you understand these things. There are sad people and happy people and people whose lives went great, people whose lives went wrong. Everybody who says that cancer caused fucking Walter White, you missed the entire fucking point of the show. The whole point of the show.
It just revealed the actual Walter White.
Cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cancer was the excuse. And in fact, they even spelled it out for you in the last episode when she's like, don't bullshit me. And he's like, okay, here's the truth. I loved it. I loved all of it. I was glad that I got cancer so I could be revealed as a bad guy. I've been a bad guy this entire time.
Yeah. And really, the only thing that you are left wondering by the end of that show was like, not why was she such a bitch to her pathetic husband, but rather, what was she working actively to keep caged that eventually escaped quarantine?
Actually, my only question was, why does Vince Gilligan to this day deny that Norm Macdonald is 100% right and Walter White definitely died in that car outside and everything else is a Brazil-esque fever dream fantasy of him being a superhero and righting all of his wrongs? And why does he continue to deny it to the point of making a movie called El Camino where he continues his ridiculous fan fiction as though Jesse was ever freed when we all know that he died and everybody died?
I don't know. I still haven't seen El Camino. I'm sure that'll be a quarantine watch, but
man, you ever have yourself a big old fat meal at McDonald's and then you just finish and you think, I wonder if any scraps fell on the ground after that. I bet they taste kind of like a McDonald's if I mash them all up together. Oh, this one's older and 20 pounds overweight. Yeah, that'll do. I could pretend that was that same scrap from that Big Mac.
Yeah. I feel like if I watched it now without the expectations of like, this is the capital T Breaking Bad movie, and just as like, hey, an epilogue to Breaking Bad came out. It's an epilogue. Shouldn't really expect much of it other than it deals with the characters that you knew from the story. Like, then I feel like I'd probably enjoy it. but I don't know. I
mean,
haven't seen it. And,
Also, I had unfair expectations. I was hoping for, oh my God, it's a Netflix release that'll be in a movie theater. I've never seen a Netflix movie in a movie theater. How great will it be to see a Breaking Bad thing on the night it comes out in a movie theater on Netflix release with all these fans? One other dude in the theater, and I'm pretty sure he farted during the movie.
And by the way, that's why theaters are terrified of day and date.
Yeah.
Like, because a Netflix day and date is like the worst case scenario. That's where they think shit's gonna be in 10 years, right? Like, except Netflix is there now, where it's like, yeah, no, just pay us X amount of money and it's free. All of our content is free. And we fucking just constantly feed you. This is like the fucking Bacchanal buffet at Caesars. There is never going to, except for now when it's closed, like there's never going to not be every food you could ever imagine at all times. Comedy? Oh, comedy. Oh, yeah, you like one thing? Like, oh, did you like fucking, I Think You Should Leave? Cool. Let's fucking, and I don't know this, I'm just guessing. Let's get fucking Auntie Donna from Australia that also does absurdist comedy, and we're gonna fucking do a series with them. Like, there's just like whatever you like. They're like they call back to the kitchen, and there's gonna be more of. And if you like the second helping, then there's 7 more helpings coming. Teen dramedies, cool. Coming of age stories, cool. Horror, awesome. They'll just keep bringing you that. And movies are like, okay. I mean, we have like, I don't know what, like 200 titles a year that come out, and they're supposed to be special. And you are like prostituting out every element of like genre that we've ever relied on.
Did you ever give Narcos a try?
I have not. Although I would love to hear you explain why I should love Narcos while I go pee.
Okay. Well, it's good because when I'm releasing my bladder, I think of the release of cocaine into the underground markets as I stare into the porcelain bowl upon which I once poop fainted. I think to myself, what would Pablo Escobar say now? A man who was so wealthy, he literally burned his own money for warmth, like the warm stream coming out of my urine machine. That's the name I have for my wiener.
I like to imagine that he asked you to do that because he unplugged his headphones so that this sound is being broadcast into the Young apartment.
That's right, into the Young apartment and its sequel, The New Apartment, in which the Young apartment is promised to make an appearance, but spends most of its time
But they wait until the very fucking end.
And then when it does, it only shows up long enough to declare jihad on another apartment.
I'm glad that the finale of that show was good, but holy fucking shit, y'all.
That whole series though is so gorgeous. Every shot, like you can't hate any one shot. I'm kidding you. By the way, Meryl Barr, we should do Quibi reviews that are only 30 seconds long and only available between midnight and 2 a.m.
Did you catch all that, Justin? No, he didn't.
Oh, doggone
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, I got all of it. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Narcos, the best.
Oh, man.
Good kayfabe.
I definitely did. I definitely did 3 minutes just for you.
I was definitely going pee.
Well, I know. I was definitely hoping you could hear me as I was describing in various metaphors. It's a
single metaphor, I might say. A number one metaphor.
Yeah, it's the number one metaphor that I was doing. I mean, let's just say we're a fan of streaming content now.
There you go. Hell yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, geez, guys, man. What are we going to do? What are we going to do in this crazy mixed up world?
Man. Oh, shit. I just remembered I did schedule a meeting tomorrow. I was all bragging to myself about how I don't have to drive my kid to school because fuck school. Educate the kids. More like party like it's Binge Fest 19 for 39.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
But then I remembered.
Great year, 1939.
Hey, what's the next milestone in politics? Are they all settled until November?
The primaries are still going.
Are they?
I mean, number one, dude, nobody fucking knows. Honestly, like, I wish I could, if I knew, I'd tell you, but I don't. Like, right now, here's the situation. We were supposed to have 4 primary contests today. We had 3 because the governor of Ohio declared a health emergency, which theoretically postponed the Ohio primary. We have one candidate that is prohibitively ahead of the other one. And so maybe the guy behind the front runner would say, you want to know what, for the sake of this pandemic, all stop, right? But on the other hand, I'm diametrically opposed to this other guy on a lot of levels, and my supporters desperately would not like me giving in. And so now we face the fact that, like, the DNC is allegedly, like, threatening states to not move their primaries back, despite the fact that there's a pandemic, because the DNC wants this shit over with ASAP. So who knows? Either we're going to have a DNC infighting mean that more and more people are going to go and all touch the exact same screen over and over and over again during a fucking health emergency. Because in his infinite wisdom, Tom Perez, the head of the DNC, said, we believe that all future states should implement vote from home protocols. As if that's just like some shit to say, and not like some shit that needed to be printed fucking months and months and months ago and mailed like 3 months ago. Like for the people that he's talking to, it's like, you don't do that shit in a week while literally everything's shut down. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he's telling them not to move, but also to do vote from home, but also there's no way to do vote from home, but also this is kind of settled, but also we'll find out whether or not somebody blinks.
Yeah, but what if the president just gave everyone $1,000? You think that would help him win an election in election year?
Red freedom dividend. Yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed the Yang Thanos memes that were around today, which was just like you couldn't live with your failure, and where did it lead you? Back to me. Yeah.
DNC gonna use strawpoll.me. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't know how. I don't know what the playbook is on. I don't know if there's somewhere in the White House library, like, go through all the books and shit, and like blow off an old dusty one, and it's like, so you willingly headshotted a bull economy. Here's what you do next. Like, I don't know if that exists.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you willingly shoot a bull economy is, man, if the vet says, no, here are the slides of the mad cow disease that is currently in the bull. So you can either wait until it turns on you and destroys the pen, or we can put a bullet in its head right now.
Yeah, and so I think the plan from the White House now is like, all right, do whatever stimulus you need to get us to the bridge where eventually everybody is out of panic mode, and all the restaurants and all the cruise ships and all the airlines are running again. And then everyone will realize, whoa, you're telling me that we have the same economic fundamentals, but now everything's 40% off? Like, it's a spending spree, right? That's what they're hoping. Fuck knows where we're going to get. Like, we're going to get by the time that we get to the end of this bridge. And who knows what the psychological cost is? Because for everybody who's being super cavalier about this shit, like the people that it kills is grandmas. And here's one thing I know about grandmas and grandpas. Yes, they are the most likely to die, but they're also the thing that like people cry the most about.
Well, and
Like-
that's the thing is right now there are very few faces to put to the idea of, well, old people who are not me who are going to be the ones who are vulnerable, right? And then once you'll have the names entrenched, once it becomes common for every single person you meet to be able to name 3 to 5 loved ones who are now dead, that'll change your perspective.
Yeah, look, it's all fun and games until all of a sudden everybody's holding up pictures of mimas and abuelas that are fucking gone.
Yeah,
Right. And
there's one. I rarely on Reddit. Your ups and down votes are public records. Is that right?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then I've been rarely upvoting. How do I find my upvoted things?
You would go into your profile, and
Yep.
there should be a tab in there somewhere.
There you go.
They keep changing it.
Okay,
Who knows why.
but the point is I try not. I mainly just lurk on Reddit, except for when I'm talking, knowing that I'm making a press release. But there was one thing I upvoted where somebody took on the Data is Beautiful. The odds of deaths per 100,000. Data is beautiful. There you go. Deaths per 1 million. And they called them like macro morts, I think. Oh, there you go. Coronavirus chance of death, 1 in 1 million chance of death. Walking 27 miles, you have a 1 in 1 million chance of dying. Cycling 28 miles, a 1 in a million chance. Commercial aircraft travel 7,500 miles, you have a 1 in a million chance. So those are those activities. 100 micromorts is one of those is a seasonal flu aged 45 to 64, regular seasonal flu. And then 10,000 micromorts, one of those is climbing Mount Everest. 8 of those is being 70 and getting COVID. Like, you are 8 times more likely to die if you are 70 and have COVID than you are trying to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah. And when you combine that with how transmittable it is, that's fucking terrifying, right? Like and understand that that's the lethal rate, at least as we know now, when there's like a large swell of people that are possibly in that range, then you clog hospitals, and now the doctors need to make decisions of who's the most dying right now, like who gets the ventilator right now.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part, and that's why I'm staying at my fucking house. God, you have any idea how much I fucking hate staying at my house? I mean, Brian, the reason why I fucking told you not to go to Torchy's, you got a fucking so many places for activities. Like, you got a whole compound. Do whatever you want, man. You can go by that pond. You can
that's
go
right.
into your
Like,
you can go into your thing.
If you and I were to play a game called How Far Can We Walk Without Encountering Another Human Being, I suspect it would be an easier game for me than for you.
I got this room. And then when I got my living room, my kitchen, right?
Yeah.
That hallway,
Yeah.
maybe a little area like when you walk in. Other than that, I go up to my roof, and that's pretty much it. That's where that's where my gameplay map ends. Like, there's not a lot of walking to the corner and then having it refresh into another map, right? Like, it's a fairly simple. In fact, you could pretty much play Clue on it. Like, it'd be the shittiest game of Clue. It would be
Where
the
was my sanity murdered? It was done in the studio right now, live.
And if there's one thing that me and you connect on a deeply fundamental level is, boy, isn't it great to just kill time at a bar? You're kind of around people, but you're mostly alone. You talk to people pretty much on your own volition. You know, sometimes you bullshit. Most times you don't. Play Hearthstone. There's chicken wings there. It's a fucking great time, right? God, I would love to do that. Man. I can't. But if I were you, I would just be finding every inch of that goddamn property. I'd be leaning against that bus.
I'd be burying. I'm gonna bury some jars of pennies and make treasure maps. Find them eventually.
Who gives a fuck for no reason? Just get lit and then fucking do that and then drive back home. What are people gonna stop you for DUI now?
I'll tell you what, man. Now's the time for me to like start a fucking mushroom grow farm or some shit. Like fucking like who's gonna fucking care?
Oyster. Also, text me on that.
Hey man, what gas I do have left in the tank? I don't want to hold Bryce here if you want to head out, but I wouldn't mind trying to nail gold dust on Audica on your way out. Give that a little one try.
I'll tell you what. You stay here. I'm gonna peace. I still gotta write this goddamn newsletter, so I'm gonna do that. But another great night. Another one for the good guy.
Hey, man, look. I look forward to a time that both of us are not at the end of the world, and we get to do a live stream where both of us haven't done anything else all day. but goddamn, no. Thank you for powering and soldiering on, man.
I mean, I ain't soldiering shit, dude. I'm just been fucking here, hanging out. Look, and this is gonna be a lot more of this. I love all you guys.
Hells
Love everybody here.
Man, you want to do Hearth and Oats sometime? Give me a call. You give me a call.
Yeah.
We're gonna Hearth and Oats that shit.
Yeah, baby. I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can finish PX3 early tomorrow, and then I'll hit you up.
All right.
All right. We'll see you later, Justin. Well, why don't we'll trim the we'll stop the recording here so that
other people just aren't listening to me failing and
I do remember last time you just kept restarting Gold Dust.
So that's what everybody will get is nothing but the beginning of Gold Dust and me saying fuck, come on. All right, no, I got this. I got it. Loosen up.
So we'll keep the live stream going. We'll end the recording here in just a minute here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Maybe Hearth and Oats tomorrow sometime.
Yeah.
Friday Night Bryce. Friday evening, we got Animal Crossing, hopefully.
Nice.
Fingers crossed.
Nice.
And then maybe something over the weekend. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again.
Also, stick around.